thoughts, and I immediately think about just how challenging it is with a club that has set such a high standard. The Tuukka Rask question is one that comes to mind immediately. Yep. Where do you sit on Rask and the Bees and the right move going forward?
There were times where it felt like it was almost untenable there between the player and the team. You can look at that a lot of different ways. Tuukka's had incredible performance for that team, but he is known as being potentially a little bit aloof. That's all. He's very quiet. He's a goalie. Kevin Weeks could sit here and give you an hour on what that means. Ultimately, for Don Sweeney, the world is your oyster, Don. I am sorry, but if I died and went to heaven and woke up tomorrow, I'd be the GM of the Boston Bruins. They have so much opportunity in front of them. There are so many different machinations and direction that they could take this team. I think Chara ends up back there. You haven't really heard it much. How about Alex Pietrangelo? How about if they were somehow able to sign him?
Whoa.
Could that be a possibility? What kind of, their right side would look like Tampa's left side. You know, that left side with that Hedman, McDonough.
Yeah, we just saw him.
Guy? Yeah, well, Boston could have McAvoy. Pretty good, right?
Chucky Bright Lights.
Yeah, anybody would take Chucky. Alex Pietrangelo, Brandon Carlo. They just have so many different directions they can go. And we'll touch on the goaltenders later, by the way, in the show. We're going to get really deep into it.
Right.
I'll leave Tuukka Rask off. We'll say that Don Sweeney decides he wants to maybe get a lower goalie. He'll have that option because of the UFA market to maybe pick up an equal or perhaps even better guy for less money if he wanted to trade him. I think Tuukka Rask will be there personally in the end. Jake DeBrusk, there's another option. How about that Taylor Hall guy? This team has $14 million cap space right now. Now, that's without Chara and Krug, but that can be handled as well. Zdeno Chara will end up back on this team, in my opinion. They're going to make some upgrades. You might see a guy like DeBrusk leave. You might see big-time players that nobody's talking about end up. They've already heard about Oliver Ekman-Larsson potentially going there, but I think it's more economical, more intelligent to maybe target some of these free agents, guys that normally would want a really long-term deal, but because of the pandemic, they're thinking, I just need to go to a really good team. I need to kind of watch what happened with Tampa, Shattenkirk, some of these guys that kind of hitched their wagon. The Boston Bruins have that type of team. Players will be beating down the door, in my opinion, to play for them. Even if it's just for a year, even if they don't get the big money, they'll get their big contracts next year. We're in a more favorable environment. Pandemic will be less. Things will get back to normal, and everybody will be a winner, particularly Boston Bruin fans.
Not since Shelley Long left Cheers have I been this shocked by anything about Boston.
It's exciting.
You saying that they're headed for an upgrade. They won the President's Trophy last year. Went to the Cup final the year before.
It's incredible, and they can come back next year and be even more dominant.